this whole session as we proceed. Thank you. So let's start. What is generative AI or Gen AI? According to IBM, Gen AI is the short form of generative AI, and it refers to artificial intelligence system that can create new content rather than just analyzing or classifying existing data. And then that generative AI intelligence system can generate text, images, videos, code, or any type of content that you can imagine, even though it didn't previously exist. And this is something that just relies on human engagement or something we call prompt. So, prompt is basically instructions that you give to the AI, and then the AI gets your he gets your input, and then he uses that to talk back to you like a human language. Now, some people might think Gen AI is old or if it's new. It's interesting to take everyone into some of the details of what it can do. So, first of all, it relies on something called machine learning models. So, what are machine learning models? This is basically a computer that somebody put somewhere, and the computer has high capabilities. When I say high capabilities, I mean the internet speed there is extremely fast. The memory or the processor of the computer is really large. The storage space on the computer is unlimited. That's what those kind of machines are. So they install some things on that type of computer, and then they set up that computer to be able to do what we call transformer based neural networking. And this is just a mumbo jumbo terminology to that means a computer that can think like humans. But as you know, there's really nothing on earth that can think like humans right now as of today. But these computers can uh, they can mimic the way humans think, and they can use that to give you suggestions of what needs to be done next. These type of computers are called models, and people call them large language models. So if you hear the terminology LLM or agentic AI, all these things are running on these large language models, and they are using this transformer based neural network. Now, the good thing is you don't have to bother yourself with knowing too much about all these kind of details. These are just fundamental concepts that give birth to what we call generative AI today. And there are some popular tools that are already using these things like ChatGPT. And if you don't have ChatGPT, please do not feel left out. I would happily show you ChatGPT today and Claude and Gemini and some of these other tools. And how it works is there are some concepts that we know as human beings, and these concepts are classified as data models or data sets. And they train these computers using that data set to make them more intelligent. To give you more context, the minimum amount of data that some of these computers have is about 3 billion data sets. So imagine a human being that has access to about 3 billion kind of information data sets. And when I say data sets, this can mean from geography to physics to biology, in different spheres of life to religion to culture. Imagine 3 billion different kind of data sources, plugged into somewhere. That's like a giant library, you know, and these computers have been trained with that kind of data set, and they understand how humans think based on those data sets that have been provided to them. So a Gen AI tool is like an application that allows you to interact with those supercomputers that have access to those data sets, and is widely used in different areas right now, like writing, design, customer service and research in healthcare, entertainment, and education. For example, you can ask a Gen AI to generate a business plan for you. You can ask it to generate a marketing content. You can ask it to generate a picture for you. And without you being a graphic artist, you can actually achieve a whole lot of things that people didn't know how to do in the past. And Gen AI is different from AI. So you would hear AI and you hear Gen AI. AI is artificial intelligence, and it refers to any technology that mimics or exceeds human intelligence. But generative AI is a type of AI that is focused on content creation from nothing that exists before, and it learns from repetitive and analytical tasks. The limitation of Gen AI is it is so powerful right now that sometimes it can lead you to copyright or misinformation or something we call hallucination sometimes. And so it's always important that you're responsible for any information that you put into Gen AI and you fact check it before you use that information. But overall, it's a very brilliant and interesting tool. So without speaking too much jargon, uh, let's see how far back it started. Gen AI movement actually started in 1950 when Alan Turing laid the theoretical work down, and from 1950 there's been a whole lot of um, investments, research, and training that has gone into this whole process, and which has now led us to where we are today in 2025. So there are a whole lot of work that has gone into this, and if it's not something new, it's something people have been doing behind the scene. um, a friend of mine likes to say that any technology that you see today is something that the superpowers must have had for about 10 years, and they are just sharing it with the world today. And I can't doubt that, because if you look at it, the transformer revolution models started with some Google researchers as far back 2015, 2016, or 2014. So you can see how people have been doing significant work and development in this, and it's not stopping. A whole lot of people are still doing this. If you listen to some of the world news, you see how the Saudi Arabian government has committed to investment for generative AI projects in the United States, raising billions of dollars. You see how different corporations like Microsoft, like Google, like Facebook, they were sitting at a round table with the US President Donald Trump, and they were committing to billions of dollars. I think Facebook committed to spending 600 billion or 500 billion dollars between now and 2028 or so. So this is just significant work that is going into this. And the good thing is, when people throw around money in technologies like this, the people who first latch onto it enjoy the benefit of it the most. It's just like when internet came, and a whole lot of people were wondering, what is internet? Can it really work? But if you look at what the internet is doing right now versus when it first came, there's a whole lot of difference, and people wish that they knew this is what internet would be, so that they would have jumped on it on a more different trend. So if you're looking for something new, something that's trending that you should jump on to learn about, both for yourself personally and for your career, Gen AI is one of those things that you need to look at. And I'm excited to talk to you guys about it today. So, let's go straight into it. The first thing you would like to know when you want to go into anything generative AI is the terminology we call prompt engineering. So, what is prompt engineering? It is the art and science of crafting precise instruction to AI system to generate educationally valuable, accurate, and age-appropriate content for your classroom. And I'm saying this from the context of someone who's an educator. In a wider perspective, prompt engineering is basically the art and science of crafting precise instruction to AI system to generate anything you want. And it matters in education because it can save you up to 3 or 5 hours weekly on lesson planning and material creation. It can ensure consistency in your messages. It can personalize your learning at scale. It can, you know, reduce cognitive load on teachers for routine content creation. It's a um, nice way of saying what is a magical way to talk to a computer. That's what they call the prompt engineering. And I know I've been saying Gen AI, I've been saying prompt engineering. I'm sure someone must be wondering, what exactly is this thing we're talking about? Or when are we going to get into the action? I'll give you an example. So, first of all, I did explain to you that there are some computers that have been trained to have interesting interesting knowledge about the world globally. I'm going to stop sharing this slide briefly, and then I'm going to quickly show everyone something that you need to see. So I'll stop sharing now, and then I'm going to share my screen again to show you a simple page that has some of the Gen AI tools that we are talking about. So the first one is, let me share my screen. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. My most favorite easy to use Gen AI tool is Perplexity. It's something that I use that has replaced Google search for me. So I'm sure you're wondering what is the Gen AI and how does it work? Let's say I want to create, or let's say I even just want to make a research about the cure of cancer globally. In the past, you go to Google and you search something like cure for cancer, latest information, and then you go through different web pages. And let me just go through um, that page. So this is it here. And so you're going to do something like cure for cancer latest. And then this is going to give you like different links where you can go through, and then you start to click on each one of them and watch the video and copy whatever information is relevant to you. And sometimes it goes off points from a research perspective. It can be quite frustrating. Now if you have a tool like something like Perplexity, I can just put in this word cure for cancer latest and I search, and this guy would go all over the internet, comb through several websites for me, and without me needing to go through each page one by one, it summarizes the latest update for me on the cure for cancer, telling me this is the latest update as of September 2025, the latest breakthroughs, the limitations and outlook, and this is the latest information in summary. Now it also has something they call research mode. Let's say I wanted to go do this information in research mode. I can copy the same information, I can paste it here, and then I can click on this nice button here that says deep research. Because I'm using the free version, I have maximum of I think 3 deep research per day. So I'll click on this and to take about maybe 3 minutes to go gather different information from all parts of different websites. And then it will tell me what it finds. So I'm just waiting for this information to be complete. And it's also going to give you the sources. The interesting thing is it doesn't just make these decisions by imagining things. It actually checks different sources. So these are the sources of where it got the data from for me. And it just represents it in a nice and clean way. So this is the latest for me based on the research mode that I clicked. So if you look at the first one, my sources were 20. But if you look at the second one in research mode, my sources are 52. And then it comes with this latest information to say, while there is no cure, these are the latest updates. This is the next generation cell innovations, and then it gives more and more details. And if you want to see more information about it, you can click on sources to read more, or you can share this answer or share the result as a link to somebody that you're working with, and instantly they get a hang of it. This is one tool that can do this. Let's talk about something that's a bit more interesting. Let's say I want to explain LCM to someone who's 5 years old. So I would say explain LCM to a 4-year-old kid using Gary and Kuli. Now, this is something that it would take a human being time to do research about it. So I'm going to copy this prompt, paste it here. Oops, sorry. I'm going to send this here, and I'm also going to use my second AI tool, and I'm going to put in this same command here, and both of them are going to give me a response. So hey little one, let me explain something to you. You know how mommy gives you Gary in a small cup? Let's say she gives you Gary every 2 spoonfuls. You get Gary at 2 spoonfuls, and then 4 spoonfuls and 6 spoonfuls, and so on. Now daddy gives you kuli kuli every 3 spoonful. Do you notice something special? At each you both get Gary and it just explains something to you without you even doing too much research or putting effort into it. This is what AI can do. This is a second one here that explains it to you. The same way the first one was doing it, this is how the second AI tool is also doing it. And it's also giving you links on how best to explain. So these are some of the capabilities of different AI tools as of today. So we'll go into it and we'll explain a bit more so that the result of what you're getting will be much more better. Now, one of the challenges is that I've seen when I introduce generative AI to educators is that some of the prompts, excuse me, are not detailed enough to help the AI to understand what it needs to do well. So, for example, an educator is saying, explain photosynthesis to AI. It will give you the answer you want, but it will not be as rich or as refined as you might want because your context that you have provided is not rich enough for it to understand. Now, if you want it to have a very rich context that it will understand any day, anytime, this is where um, this is where your prompting skills needs to be engineered, and that's how we call it prompt engineering. So there are some takeaways and principles that I would share that would help your prompt to be much more better when you're engaging different AI tools and different AI platforms, and those tools would then be able to know how best to work with you. One of the most popular AI tools is this guy called ChatGPT. It's available on chatgpt.com, and here you can ask any question that you want. So, for the purpose of this training, I would paste the same question that I gave here into this AI tool, and it will generate this for me. And you can see it's already putting a story together for anybody who's trying to understand what it does. So, what's the prompt engineering? Now, this is a good one, but the way I wrote it is very basic. The result I'm going to get will be very basic. If I want to get a very rich result, I need to modify my prompt to be much more solid. And this is where prompt engineering comes into play. So, for you to do prompt engineering, um, let's do another example, not with ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity. Let's do another example like you want to generate images based on that example that has been given. Now, I'm not a graphic designer and I want to design something that can help kids or will make them find it catchy. There's this tool called labs.google, and I will just paste the one of the prompts that I have there, and I will click create. And based on the contents that I put here, it will generate some kind of image for me that relates to what we're looking at. And this instantly on the spot is beginning to look like something you want. Now, this might not be exactly what we want the way we want it, but it might be a good graphic to capture the interest of the students that are trying to learn. And there are other options that you can do here. You can modify the what's it called, the graphics to be much better. As you can see, I didn't have to draw Gary and Kulikuli. It just assumes based on what people have been saying and the different language models that it has been taught that Kulikuli is a solid kind of object that can come in different shape and sizes, and it's using that to propose what the images should look like. So away from this, and let me just go back to the prompt engineering part that I wanted to show you. Now, for you to correctly engage any AI, you have to use something we call, there are different frameworks, but if you're just starting, I would encourage you to try using what we call the CLAIR framework. The CLAIR framework in prompting generative AI is a framework that allows you to talk to the computer or the AI model using clear and concise communication skills. For example, I want to explain um, about something about ecosystem to somebody that is in fifth grade. I can ask you to create a three-paragraph explanation and say, um, using how we discussed food chain yesterday, I want you to explain to someone, and the audience that I'm going to give it to will be 10-year-old students with varied reading levels, and I want the teacher to act like an enthusiastic teacher. So by using this prompt that I have here, I will then, so let me copy that prompt. One sec. I'm not sure if my screen's frozen. I think I need to do this to copy. Okay, sorry. So using the clear framework, I'm going to copy this prompt and I'm going to use it to engage my AI model. So I'll open up a new chat here and I'll paste the same information across all three different AI models. So this is the first one. I'll open a new chat here, paste the second one, and then I'll open a new chat on the chat GPT. And don't worry, I'm going to give you the names of these tools, so it's not anything complex for now. And I'm going to paste it here. So this is the same prompt across three different AI models or three different AI tools. And then each one of them have come up with a summary. Now, this is one of the tools that I personally like. Its name is Claude AI. It's better in writing, so it can imagine something really nice, and you can see what the content is saying. Hey, scientists, remember how we talked about food chain yesterday? Today, we are going to zoom out and see the big picture, and then it's going to give me all this information I want. Same thing it did yesterday. It did on this other tool, and it's giving me all the prompts that I want. The final one is the chat GPT, and then this is giving me everything I want, including questions that we can discuss in the AI tool, in the generative AI tool. Now, this is basically a simple way of generating content. Sorry, can you mute if you're not speaking, please? Thank you. Okay, so this is a very simple and nice way for anyone to easily create content without sitting for hours and trying to do research on what needs to be done and what does not need to be done, or screening out different hours of data that you do not need. The AI can generate this for you. And if you want to make it more interesting, you can take it a step further. You can take it a step further by asking the generative AI tool to create an image that you can use for your class. So I can say suggest a picture generation prompt for this explanation or content provided above, and ignore my typo. It's going to get the picture of what I'm trying to say, and it's going to find something that I can use. So I can copy this here, and then I can go into any image generation tool of my choice. I can use either the Google Lab here, or I can use something called Wix or Whisk, which is also owned by Google. Let me enter the tool, paste the idea that I want, send it, and then both of them can generate the image to match the description of the narrative. So this is me trying to explain ecosystem to students, and without having to draw myself, this tool can generate the image for us to use in different contexts later. And these are just simple eye-catching basic principles that would help quality of what you're producing. This is another one here. Sorry, someone speaking, please. Can you help me?
Lagos naona program.
Sorry, someone is speaking. Could you help me mute, please? Thank you.
Yes, magana na Lagos skill.
Thank you. Okay, so this is an image that has been generated, and this image shows different animals within the ecosystem that can help everyone.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Are you
Yes,
sharing the screen at all, sir? Because are you sharing the screen, sir?
yes, I am. Can
Okay, sir.
you guys not see my screen?
Yeah, screen is visible, sir. You have a picture of a story of trees there and
I can
squirrel and a
see your
river.
screen.
Okay. All right, great, thanks. Um, and then another thing you can also do using some of these generative AI tools is we've created a picture that we like. Let's say I want to even take it further to create like an some kind of animation. You can also use this tool without you being a graphic designer. You can create an animation using the same AI content, and You don't need to learn how to be a graphic designer. You just need to know how to prompt clearly, and the AI will get what you are doing. So as long as you follow the clear framework, which means provide context, provide the length of your desired output, provide examples of inputs and outputs that you want, define the audience that are going to consume the information that you want to generate, and give the AI a role that it needs to assume. As long as you can do all these things, it will clearly come out with something that is interesting for you to do. Now, I would love for you to think of something using the clear framework. Just think of something on your own side, and at the end of the class, try to create something out of those AI tools that I'm going to share with you, um, and see if you're able to get some of this context or details that I'm sharing with you. It's really easy, and we'd love to see some of all those things put to use. Now, there are other ways that you can also see the clear framework in use. For example, if someone wants to explain it, you can just choose. If someone wants to do a prompt for generating a note to explain ecosystem, initially you would have typed something like explain ecosystem to students. But using the clear framework, you can have this structured approach that we put in here, and it will clearly give you something that will match what you want to do. In this way, the quality of the output of whatever it is you're getting from the different AI tools would always be important. Without using good prompting skills, the quality of what you generate would not be as good. And that's why I've seen some people say does not know how to do certain things. It's true, the AI can be unintelligent in the beginning, but as soon as you prompt it once, twice with the correct kind of information that you want, and you break it down into smaller bits without loading it all at once into the head of the machine, I can tell you it's going to do exactly what you want in a very nice way. Now, there's another concept that I would like to explain, which is what they call the advanced prompting. Advanced prompting is basically saying, without using the clear framework, or let's say you've been using the clear framework and it's very basic to you, there's something called chain of thought. Chain of thought is basically you telling the AI to reason with you step by step, and then use that step by step thinking to move forward. For example, you can get a problem, a real life problem, and say, I want you to walk me through how to solve this problem. And this is my current status. This is what I've done in the past. This is what I got when I did certain efforts. And this is what I am still getting. But I expect it to be different, or I'm confused, or I'm getting an error somewhere. Can you please help me fix this? And then, because you provided those context of information using the chain of thought approach, the AI will break down the different points you've given to it using the problem solving skills that it has, and then give you a script that you can use to overcome how best you can become a better teacher. For example, if you have a critical thinking or a problem solving strategy, if you have a set of students that they are struggling to understand certain things in different books, and you want to break it down to a more simpler approach that they will understand, this is where the chain of thought comes to play. And chain of thought, for example, is this one that says, walk me through how to solve problems, and then it's going to do. So if I want to do a prompting using chain of thought context, I would do something like, let me open up a new chat, and I can say, I am trying to get to, um, let's see, Takum in Taraba, but I am currently in Ghana. How do I get there in 73 hours without flight? And this is just me pasting a random information. And I know my spelling here might not be correct. And so this is going to just get information from going from Ghana to Takum in Taraba State. And it says in 73 hours without flying is definitely possible by road, but it's going to be a very long journey. And then it gives me a route to say from Accra to Lome to Cotonou to Lagos to Abuja to Jalingo to Takum. And it gives me the distance of how I'm going to go from bus to bus. So take a bus from Lome. And this is information that I don't know about. And then it's going to ask me to carry cash in multiple currencies. Because I'm going from one country to another, it's asking me to carry Ghana cedis, Nigerian naira, and Sefa. And it's also asking me to have my travel documents ready. This way I'm going to meet where I'm going to. So this is a way of prompting with chain of thoughts. Even though my prompt there is very light, but this is a way of prompting. It was even able to identify ABC Transport, GU Transport, Young Shall Grow, and even giving me overnight buses that I can go to save time, because I've put a condition that I want to get there in 73 hours. The same context that I put here, if I put it in Perplexity, I would most likely get something similar to that. And if I put it in ChatGPT, I would also get something very similar to that. So let me put this. So this is the basic info. Takum is in Taraba State, is in eastern Nigeria. Driving from Accra to Ghana by Taraba is 1,550 kilometers, and to take you approximately 23 to 24 hours. This information is not something I even knew. It's something that I was able to calculate using information that it has. For example, the road map or the geolocation or the GPS coordinator of these points that I've mentioned, was able to use that to break down how I'm going to travel. So this is the possible routes by land, road, and border crossing, and it's giving me the different ways. It even suggested an itinerary sketch for me to say go through Accra border to Togo for 6 to 10 hours, then go through Benin to Lagos Ibadan, and then from Lagos Ibadan go through that to North Central, and then from there to Takum. Depends on how I'm going to go. And then it's giving me things to prepare for, like my passports, my yellow fever, any form of document that customs is going to need, make sure that my vehicle is in good condition, have spare tires. These are information that I don't even need to write down. In the past, these are things you'd have written down before, done research about, or call somebody to say, how can I get this? But now this generative AI is able to get that information for you easily. And all you have to do is just leverage it when you are doing your training with the different students. So that's basically what chain of thought is about. The next prompting skill that people need to have is what they call the few shots learning example. For example, you can say, create a vocabulary of cards in the following format. So you give it an example. The word is photosynthesis, make it kids friendly, give it a memory trick, use sentences like the green leaf uses photosynthesis, and then it uses this information to match the format and the pedagogical approach that you've provided. So it depends on how you want the information. So this is basically the advanced prompting using the few short learning examples. This way, you provided the goal, you've provided an example one, example two, and you've given it an instruction. Depends on what you're doing or what the problem is at that time. The prompting skills that you can employ will determine the output of what you're going to get. And then the final one is the role playing prompting skill, which is my favorite. Maybe it's because of the field of work that I am, but sometimes you have to make the AI to think like you. So if you're doing a research on security, security and cost of living in Nigeria, you can ask the AI to assume that you are a maybe you can use any age range you want, and then you can give it some persona and then ask it to tell you how to live. So let's do a similar one. So let's say I want to do a little bit of research on how to survive um, on maybe a specific amount of money for 5 days in Nigeria. You can use this AI to prompt it. For example, you can say, assume that you are a um, let's say 35 to 65-year old adult living in Nigeria. You just won a um, gift of the sum of let's call it 2 million naira. How can you live best with groceries and prices of housing uh, for 1 year without getting broke? And sorry, I know my typos are everywhere. It's just because I'm trying to type fast. And then by typing this, it will tell you that this could stretch for 1 year to cover groceries without going broke. And this is how it's going to understand the budget. So, first of all, it will understand your budget that you want to spend this money for 12 months. It will tell you how much you should spend. So, it will tell you if you want to get a house that will be cheap, go to these locations. You can get a self contained for 150 to 300K. Your best choice, go for this ones. Pay up front so that you don't worry again. And then housing maximum 500K. Then groceries, there's food inflation right now in the country, but if you shop wisely by buying at bulk, and then some of this information might be, not true, but it tries to give you response by assuming that it is in that role or persona, and then it breaks it down for you. Now, this information is not something that might be valid. Maybe the numbers is given here is not real, but the good thing is you now have like an idea of what you need to do to make the way you need to spend or break down the money so that you can plan and budget appropriately. So even though the exact numbers you have here might not be correct, the way it has structured it here might be something that would help how you are thinking about the situation. So this is basically what that prompting skill looks like, the role playing prompting skills, and it's one of the favorite globally because it makes your AI to be a dreamer, and it allows it to imagine things based on the situation of what you're trying to solve. So that brings us to the end of the prompting. Before we go further, I wanted to share a bonus content with everyone, which is here. Let me see if I can get it. So it's something in Excel. So I have a list, and I'm going to share it after this call. So I have a list of top AI tools that I've used in the past. I will share this list with everyone to see, and you can have your time. Sorry, someone raised hand. Is someone trying to ask a question? Okay, if not, um, so I have this list of different AI tools that I've used in the past, and these are the links to the AI tools. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. It depends. I cannot tell you that you can only get the best from free AI tools because, like I said, it's there are some things that are free, but the quality of what you get also depends on what the AI tool is offering. So some of them would be free, but the quality of what they offer might not be exactly what you want. It's up to you to decide on which one. Like for example, when I was using Perplexity, I showed you the normal search mode and I showed you the research search mode, and I said I have three free as a free user, you have three free research mode per day. If that meets the need of what you want, you can plan all the different information you want and then put it in there three times a day and then move the rest to the next day. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. So these are different AI tools that I've used in the past. I'm going to share this uh, with the team. They can share it with you, and you can take your time to review it and see which one works or meets the narrative of the business or the line of work that you're into. Now, before I proceed to the next step, I want to ask, do you have any questions? Sorry, someone is speaking and I'm not able to hear. Can you mute, please? Okay, so I will just stop sharing my screen now. Before I move to the next one, I need to quickly fix this audio. Okay, so please, if you're not speaking, help me mute your mic. I've just muted everybody, so my apologies if it seemed like I'm unable to hear. So I'm going to move into the next part of the slide. But before I do, I can see someone's hand up. Does anybody have any question to ask? All right. If there are no questions, then let's move into the next portion of our training, which is prompting. We've done prompting, so let's go into content creation.
Okay, sorry, please. I can't see your screen. Your screen is
Oh,
not
I'm
being
not
shared.
sharing yet. No, I'm not sharing yet. I had to stop sharing so that I can mute
Oh,
someone who was speaking earlier. I'll share now.
okay.
Good morning,
Good
and
morning.
thank you for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
My own question is just that I want to, I'm into, uh, let's say, I'm into developing of models as well. I'm actually working on using of CNN to develop a model that can detect some type of diseases. As my area of, I'm into health informatics. So I just want to know if I can get this slide and then the recorded version of the whole presentation, and also the exec that to share the other time, so that I can at least go through them and probably get some other tools that I can use that can help me. And also, I want to know, among all these tools that you put out the other time, is there any one of them that can actually help in the maybe as regard the health informatics? So that's actually what I want to know. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so first of all, of the tools that I shared, the if you're doing or building anything right now, Claude, ChatGPT, and Perplexity should be enough to do everything that you're trying to do. They they have been trained with trillions of data points, and because they have trillions of data points, you can get unlimited amount of information out of it. Uh, if you're going into any form of research mode, like I said earlier, free models or the free mode of these tools will not work well for you, because at some point the AI model will tell you that you've hit your limit for the amount of questions you can ask in a day. So my recommendation is, if you have something that is urgent that you're doing, you can use those tools, but try to upgrade it to that um, the version that will support the amount of questions you're going to ask. But those tools that I mentioned there can do it, and the spreadsheets and the videos will try to share that with everyone else. Um, we'll share that with everyone else at the end of the call. That's how we're going to do it. Thank you. Okay, so let me go back to my slide and share my screen. Okay, so we're moving to the next part, which is graphics and media. So visual learning is very important when it comes to education in everywhere in the world. Some days ago, I was in a library and I didn't know it was a library because it didn't look like the concept of library. My thought of what a library is a building with books and desk and where people can sit and read and do different things. But I got into this library and I saw a swimming pool on one side. I saw a basketball court on another side. I saw the sitting area where people sit, and I saw DVDs and VCDs that are there. I'm saying some DVDs that you think that it doesn't exist again. These guys have been keeping those DVDs since like 1990s, and you also have a computer or a computer station or several computer stations where people just come in and sit down at the computer desk and they do anything that they want. I saw some guys that were playing game. I saw some people that were reading and studying. It didn't really feel like a library to me. And the interesting thing is, the library has different kinds of content that you can imagine, from health to law to business to religion, different kinds of religion. There are DVDs of different religions that I didn't even know that existed, and I could see them classified section by section. And you can pick it or you can borrow it and take it home and return it. It depends on what the arrangement is. And then there's a meeting room with big TV where you can go in and sit down. And I was thinking, if libraries look like this in Nigeria, I'm very sure a lot of people will be PhD holders, a lot of people, because with the little that we have right now, I mean, we're doing a whole lot of things. We're exporting talent every year to all parts of the world. So using this visual learning is something that I think would also enhance how we communicate ideas and content to students. And there are several tools that can help with educational graphics. The first one is DALL-E, which is a tool that is owned by ChatGPT. So I'll open this ChatGPT tool here, and I'm just going to show you guys something quick. So I'm going to ask you to say, create an image of a leaf undergoing photosynthesis. And then because I've asked for an image, it's asking the internal AI model or AI agent that is responsible for generating image to come online and generate that image for me. I'm sure the image will not be great because I've used it before, and I'm not using the paid version of it. So let's see what it generates. Then I'm going to go into another tool whose specialty is to generate images, and we're going to compare the output of that. So let's copy this and let's go to our Google Labs and paste the same prompt here. And let's go to Whisk again and paste the same prompt there. Okay, so the images are going. Okay, so this is the first image. This one has come in, and this is sunlight, and this is the cell in the leaf, and this is exchange of H2O and CO. So you can see these different components, like how this image are really striking. And the good thing about some of these images is their resolution is really good. Like if I click on this one, you can see how large and clear this picture is. Now, if I do the same for Whisk, let's see what Whisk is generating. This is what Whisk has for us. I'm saying this for Whisk. I'm saying this for Whisk, and then I can see that this image is exactly what I want. And then let's see what our guy here is doing. Okay, so this one just finished generating the image. Like I said, these different AI models, they are built for different things. So there are different tools that does this thing. Just to give you guys some of the tools that are out there, one of them is this guy called Midjourney. And if you see here in Midjourney, these are some of the images. Like all these images you're looking at here, they were not they were not images that were drawn by anybody, or these graphics, they were not drawn by anybody. These are graphics that were created by text. For example, this is a mammoth elephant that has gone out of extinct in an office. When I click on this, I can see the prompt here that says create a representation of a mammoth Mahmoud the Mammoth working in an office in Geneva. So this is a prompt here. I can replicate the same thing. Create representation of Mahmoud the Mammoth working in Geneva. Okay, let's do the same thing. Okay, so I put this here and I put this also here, and let's see what the outcome of these images will look like. Okay, so while this image generation are ongoing, can you see these images here? And this is another one here. Oh, this one created someone actually. This okay. But first of all, did you notice that this person looks so real that you would think is actually somebody's picture that was taken? Meanwhile, this is actually just AI that's generated an image somewhere. And guess what? You can make this guy to talk, or you can make it to move without even understanding graphic. Let's try to do animation. I hope I have credits. Okay. So let's make this guy to be animated to talk. So let's say let him smile and stand up and give me a thumbs up. So let him smile and stand up. Let him smile, then stand up and give me a thumbs up. So this guy is going to create an image, or sorry, a video based on the image that I generated. So first of all, I didn't create the image. I just created a prompt. And then using my prompt, it then creates a video. And then that video can be exported or generated. Sorry, someone's hand is up. Okay, so it says our video is cooking. So let's wait for it to cook. Now, I'm sure a lot of us have seen some of all these videos online where people do skits and they say snow is falling in Nigeria or something funny like that. It's interesting that people are taking up that and exploring their creativity that way. It would be great if educators can also tap into these opportunities and do it. But more importantly, beyond just using it to create things for fun or things to um, laugh at, is also important that we use it to create real life solving problem issues. For example, something that can educate young kids about their self when they are younger, about how to be inspired to be a better person. Those kind of content would be great. So I think our video is ready. Let's play it now. I'll click on play. I'll first put it on full screen mode so everyone can see it, and then I'll click on play. And so that's it. So this is a video that, first of all, I'm not a graphic designer. Secondly, as you know, I didn't copy this image from anywhere. I just put the prompt, made it create the picture, and then ask it to animate the image. This is something people do. Um, do you know there's a job that I saw online some months ago, and a company was looking for a digital artist, and I just clicked to even see what's the JD of that digital artist, and I saw something like they don't want somebody that takes pen and biro to draw. They want somebody who is creative enough to describe what they want the drawing to look like, and that person has to type it as a prompt so that the AI would then generate it. These are the kind of jobs that are coming soon. And if people do not align with this type of jobs that are coming soon, a whole lot of jobs that we know that used to exist before will be gone. So the earlier you latch onto the opportunity and fine tune some of your skills that you already have and merge it with AI, the better and faster you would go in that career or field that you choose. So it's interesting for everybody to go there. This is a marketplace in Mid Journey. This is one of those tools. This one is expensive. They pay for it. I currently do not have any license again. I think I finished my license before. But all these pictures that you're seeing here, none of it was drawn. None of these videos were created or shot at like these people you see here. None of them, they are not real people. They're like, it's just a text saying a Korean idol style influencer couple taking mirror selfie. That's it. That's all. And this is how those images are generated. So image generation, content generation is also very possible with generative AI. And these are some of the platforms where you can do this image generation and content generation. It all depends on what your goal is. This is another image here that it's looking for hyper realistic white tiger walking on a tightrope. So if I'm going to create an image, I can ask it a simple question. Let's say create a 3D pixar style art of a boy and girl eating eba and egusi soup. Oh, sorry, not this one. This is not what I want. Cancel. Let me stop it. This is not what I want. Let me modify it. Create a prompt for generating image on. Yeah, so let me save this one now. So this is the prompt, and I will just copy this prompt here, and then I will paste it in any of the tools that I want. So I'll close this guy, paste this here, click on send, go to this one, paste the image again, click on create, and both of them should come up with some images for me. So these are the images that have been generated. And this is the second image source that's been created. So without being an artist, I've been able to get content for this. And if you're teaching something like maybe nutrition or balanced diet, and I'm not saying eba and egusi is a balanced diet, but let's assume that it is a balanced diet. This is an image that you can use to create content that you would put into that educational material that would then um, depict what you're trying to explain in the class. So this is what image and content creation is about. So there are different tools that can help you. There's also another tool called Gamma, which is for presentation visuals. And then you can just give it a prompt like I just did, create an illustration showing this, or just like I just demoed to everyone here, and instantly to show you the visuals that is matching that. And I see that somebody had raised hands. Does anybody have a question? Okay, no. So let's proceed then. So the next one is going to be presentations. When you need to create a presentation for your training or for your students or for a project that you're working on, you can use several tools that are out there. One of the tools that I personally like to use is something called Napkin AI. And Napkin AI was created by some guys that I know used to work in Google before, and they branched out and created their own company. So let's try to do something similar. So I'll click here and I'll say create content for a uh, create content on balanced diet, create slide content, yeah, on balanced diet. The audience is age between 30 and 70. uh, Demography is West African, and then keep it at 3 pages max, excluding intro and closing pages. So this is going to create the slide I want. In this case, I usually do not like doing this in Claude. I think I prefer doing this in this chat GPT, but let's try it on both tools too. And we can see the performance of all these different AI tools. So just pasting all of them here. And then there's one more AI tool that I forgot to uh, tell you guys about. It's called Gemini. It's an AI tool by Google. So let's click on this to see. This one is also free. If you have a Gmail account, you can use Google Gemini. No thanks. Okay, so let's see the result of each one of them. Okay, so let's start with the Google page results. This is giving us something here. It's telling us, good morning, thank you for being here. Slide 1 talks about the foundation of good health. Slide 2, importance of our local treasure. Slide 3, making simple lasting changes. And final one. This is ChatGPT's version. Slide 1, what is balanced diet, why it matters, how to eat balanced diet, the half quarter rule, and then it gives us just 3 pages. And then this one is for Perplexity, and this one is for Claude. Like I said, Claude writes a lot, but sometimes he writes off points logically. So you can say, I told you to keep something at 3 pages, and he gave me slide 6. So that might not be what we're looking for. But I think based on all the content that's been created, I kind of prefer this one. So what do I do when I see a content that I like? I copy this, everything here like this. I go to the tool that does PowerPoint slide, and that's Napkin AI. Okay. Wow. Can you imagine? These guys are not doing free again because they are not doing free again because people have started using their product. So now they are selling it. And this is what I'm saying about quality tools that they would cost eventually. This tool used to be entirely free, but now we just saw a prompt on the screen that they're going to be charging going forward. So this is the first slide, and by just clicking on this and highlighting the button on the side, I can see these different graphics, and I can choose what I want about how I want to represent balanced diet. And if you see what you want, if you see like an animation or a graphic that you really appreciate, all you need to do is just pick it and then pick the design of how you want it to look like. I think I saw something here. Yeah. Okay. So this is an image. This image was not drawn by me. This image was created from this simple text that I put here. And all I need to do if I'm creating a PowerPoint slide is just download this image by clicking this button. Why is it not downloading? Okay, anyways, I don't download. What I do is if I see what I want, I just take a screenshot of it like this, and then I use it because Napkin AI used to be free, but now it looks like they are trying to ask you to pay. But do you get the logic here where I said you can create slide contents by not necessarily going into PowerPoint and sitting down to do a presentation, as long as you give it the flow of how you want it to be, it can generate the content. And then there's a different tool that can generate the graphic based on the contents that you have created. And this is something that you will do a lot when you're using AI tools. You would actually move input from one AI tool to another AI tool till you get everything the way you want. So this is basically how Napkin AI works. And then there's other tools that you can also use. Like I mentioned, there's the FX by Google, there's the Whisk by Google, there's the Gamma, and there's the Slide.io. The Slide.io works with Google Sheets. So if you have a Google account, you can get a Slide.io extension. I think Slide.io is also not free, so you have to pay for it. But you can still use some of all these tools. The spreadsheet that I've given to you contains some of those tools that are still free that you can leverage on, but just do not expect the quality to be as good as what you want. But if it's okay, if you can manage with that, if it helps to convey your message correctly, you can also use that. Those graphic AI tools usually cost some kind of amount because the computer that is helping you to generate those images or graphics are high resource intensive graphics. So nobody would actually offer those kind of servers to anybody for free in reality. They can do it briefly, but then they'll stop at some point. So that's basically how the AI powered presentation tools look like. And so before I go into how you can do research and paperworks or documentation, I want to ask if you have any questions relating to presentation or graphics or videos like we did in the past. Okay, so if there are no questions, let me move to the final bit, which is document creation. And I think this is a very important concept for educators to know when using AI tools. So, an AI powered session lesson planning involves comprehensive lesson plan generation and standard alignments based on the standards that you are working with or operating with. You can ask the AI to create a complete lesson plan, or you can ask it to create a lesson plan based on a a maybe a process or a controlled sorry, I'm trying to look for let me just call it framework. So you can ask it to provide information based on a framework that you're giving with, or a syllabus that you're working with, and then it will generate that for you. For example, let me start by asking a quick question. um let's use this guy called Perplexity because it's good for search engine. Can you find Nigerian curriculum for chemistry in secondary school? And then it's going to find the curriculum based on some kind of information that it has. And I think he gave me sources like links here, and I can just go to this one and I would find some of the information I'm looking at. Okay, so this is someone else's project. That's interesting. Let's pick this first one here. Actually, I can't even copy it. That's true. Let's do something. Let's do journal. I'm not sure the page is reachable again. Okay. Okay, so let me copy this. I'm just copying this one, and then I would ask my AI to please generate an appropriate course content for these topics. Audience are high school slash secondary school students. I'm sorry for my typo, guys. I'm just typing really fast. That's why. So it will generate a comprehensive course content for me based on what I copied and pasted, even though the format of how I copied this is not correct. And then I'm going to take the same prompt and try it in a second AI tool. Let's do this in ChatGPT. And let's do this also in Google Gemini. Okay. Okay. So it's creating this one, and then it's asking me, would you like to expand this into a week by week lesson plan? Yes. Proceed. And let's see what this guy is telling me. Okay, still drafting the content. And you can see it's already creating some contents that might be important to me based on the prompts that I have provided in the past. So now comparing the results, I'm going to take all of them results. This is how you do your research. So once it's done, you copy the results here, you take it to another AI model, you ask that AI model to review and let you know if it can add more details or if this would help it add more details. So I think this one is still drafting content. Okay. ChatGPT. Okay, so this one has finished drafting the content. I have a full document here, and I can download this document as PDF. So let me come here and click download as PDF. Actually, I don't want to download it as PDF yet. Let me just copy it. So I'll click copy, and then I'll go to maybe ChatGPT and I'll say, I found this content from another AI tool, merge them and remove duplicates or irrelevant info. And I'll paste what I copied. So it will look at all this, says, got it, I've merged your structured document into one, and then it will help me merge everything plus what it has generated plus the one that I found. It will then move everything together into one single document, which would then make sense for me. And this is how you do different kind of research or work on different contents when you're working closely with some of these AI models. They like to hallucinate once in a while, like they give you wrong information. Maybe it's because of the prompting method that you're using at that time, but you can use this information that they have now provided to you here. You can use this to then go and prepare a proper content on your own or review it on your own. So I can just click this copy and then go into whatever document tool that I'm using. So in this case, let me just do a Word document and then let me just paste it here. And instantly I can have some of those files here. So this way you're able to scrape information. If you need to do something that would have a little bit of graphic, you can copy the section that you want and then you can ask it to go and create a graphic, or you can even put it in the slide tool that we have. For example, I can copy these ones here and then put it in my, where's the napkin AI tool? So in my napkin AI tool, I can paste it. It would scan this content, and when I click on this action button, it will create something graphic that is related to what I've just pasted here. And then I have the option of choosing what I want to do with it. So this is basically, so you can see this on its own is able to create that information summarized, easy to use, more user friendly to explain to students. And as educators, it will enhance the kind of graphic that you're producing to help the students learn. So this is just, in a very simple nutshell, this is how you can combine the video side to the graphic side to the text search and research and documentation side of things into whatever it is you want to do eventually. And this is basically how you use different AI tools. So that's how you create the different lesson plan. You can also do some intelligent research about it by, maybe, for example, I can copy this one here. This guy is still thinking. This is why I still thinking. Okay, so let me copy this and then I can go into another AI tool. Let's use maybe ChatGPT and say this information looks incorrect. Sometimes I do it even when I know it's correct. Kindly validate, and I paste the information there. And it says no, it is correct and it's aligned with standard of high school chemistry curriculum. And then it will check some sections. So it's showing me and then it's telling me that the information I have is actually correct. So these are ways you can fact check information that you've gotten from the different AI tool. So um, after this, I won't just go into my next slide, which is talking about the forecast of what AI looks like. AI will certainly, from what's going on in the world right now, replace people who do not use AI to enhance their way of thinking. So if you are doing one thing at the moment, so let's assume that someone is a plastic or a manufacturing um, worker right now, if that person's company is not using some kind of AI tool to enhance how the staff of that company are working, or if in a school system the team that are currently responsible for educating students are not using some kind of AI tool to enhance the quality of what they are using to train. Over time, things can get frustrating, and people that have those AI tools would certainly outperform those that are not using it. And that's why it's important that everybody embraces it now. Then another thing that people also talk about when it comes to AI forecast is the um another thing that people talk about when it comes to AI forecast is the amount of risk that is involved. We've seen people whose data or faces has been taken and impersonated, or people who have not done certain things and AI has edited the photo and put their face there. And because it's so hyper realistic, it's so different to even it's so difficult to differentiate between the original and fake. This is what AI can do. So there are lots of benefits, but there are also demerits that security experts like myself and so many people in the industry we do not feel comfortable with. And as much as a lot of security experts have been raising these things and AI researchers have been raising these things, the big corporations keep saying, don't worry, when we get there, we have systems in place that will tackle it. Let's just keep pushing the AI models as far as we can push. So the focus is not on security for now, but security constantly lies with everybody. Do not take
Lisa, is there a way we can have an access to this section? Or maybe if there's a way you can help us, because sincerely speaking, it pains me that I came in very late. It was something I could not just, control. So, but I think from what people are saying, it was a very interesting one. And please, I don't know how you can help some of us who actually came late, sir.
Okay, so I did a recording with a certain tool on a different device. I don't know
All
if
right.
that's going to work. So maybe at the end of the call, I can check the recording and see if it's working. It's still open on the other device, so I'll see if it's going to work after this call.
Okay, so how, because I know after the call now, there is no way we can have your contact. I don't know
No, I'll
if
share
you
it.
can
I'll
do.
share with the organizers. They'll give you guys both the presentation slides and the what is it called, and the videos and the spreadsheet if yeah, if the
All right.
videos are there, but if not, they'll share the slides and the um,
All right.
slides and the spreadsheet with you.
All right. Thank you and well done, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next please.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Actually, I raised my hand, but the question I wanted to ask is what that brother has just asked. That how can we assess this great repertoire of knowledge that you have just dished out to us? This will go a long way in helping us that are educationists and to help the upcoming generations, the young ones. So much be grateful if this could be made available to us. And I don't know because we all joined from different platform. I don't know whether our uh, Gmail is showing there that they will be able to send it to, or how could we access it? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I think I'll just hand it over to Miss Bumi, and she'll be able to help distribute it. Bumi, would you be able to help distribute the link once I share the link to the slide? Okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay, sir. Good morning. I'm so
good morning.
sorry. I actually joined late because I was busy with one or two. But while you were teaching, like for the parts that I was able to get, I found out that this teaching is somehow limited to some people that don't have laptop. like people that have phone, I don't know if they can access all these things that you just taught with their phones.
Okay, so first of all, the tools are built to work best on laptop. However, they also work on phone. For example, I have both ChatGPT and Claude app installed on my mobile phone, and I use them personally when, like, I'm on the go and I need to quickly confirm one information. I even have Perplexity app also on my mobile phone, so I use all three of them on my mobile phone. But when I need to do proper content that I need to use in an official setting, or images that I need to generate in an official setting, is difficult to use on the phone because it's quite inconveniencing. The recommendation is that if you have your account signed in on your phone and you start the chat on your phone, you can get a computer and go and sign in on that computer and finish the chat there. But I will recommend that if it is not your personal computer, as soon as you are done working on that place, remove whatever document you've created and sign out of that particular AI tool account so that someone else does not access your personal data or personal chat.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry again, I have a question. Thank you for the class. But if we want to reach out to you, like someone earlier mentioned, that we all join from different platforms, right? What about someone that wants to have like a personal class with you on different AI educational tools? How can we access you? Probably you have an email or an Instagram page handle that we can reach out to you. It might even be nice for you to drop it in the message so that we can have access to you and reach out. I don't know if
I
that is permitted.
I think Miss Bumi's team are our partners. The our educator AI literacy team, they are our partners in this. They can help us like convey or share any information that you need, and then we'll be able to reach. I personally, I'll be very honest with you, I have a very busy schedule. For me to make this training, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. my time, and I did the training. This is just 6:37 my time, and the slides that I just presented to you guys was not ready until maybe 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. my time. So I practically did not sleep. So if you need something from us as Tech for Charities, I'm sure we can work something out with either our partners or somebody else on our team that is on ground right now in Lagos. Um, but me personally, I won't lie to you. I'm really, really difficult to get, but I'm always passionate about helping people learn. So that's why I was up. But I would see what we can do. Don't worry. Any of our partners that we work with, we can. Is Miss Coriella also on the call? Okay.
Okay. Good day, Mr. Tayo.
Yeah, good day, ma.
Okay. I came where you've already generated that image to talk. I mean, sorry, to do the thumbs up. That's when I came. And I'm the writer. I really want to know how to generate image to be saying what I'm writing. How do I go about that?
Okay, so there's a couple of solutions or ways that can do that. There's the tool that I showed you. There's this tool by Google. It's called Whisk, and Whisk is able to do exactly what you've just described. It can generate the image, and after generating the image, Whisk can then um, you can ask it to say particular information and it to say it. But one thing I want you to know is any AI tool that will help you say something the way you want, and I've just pasted a link there. That's the link to Whisk website. Any AI tool that will say what you have written or say what you want it to say will most likely might be
Charge.
free initially, but they will charge eventually. Now, if you are really, really passionate about the writing and taking it to another level as a business, you will most likely subscribe to either this type of tool called Whisk, or there's another tool called 11 Labs that have voices of people. Like there are AI tools that even have Nigerian accent voices that people use. For example, there's a project I'm working on where it's a customer service for a particular company, and when you call the customer service number, you would think that the you would think that the person who picks the call will sound Nigerian or like a human being to you. But in reality, the person who picked the call is actually a robot with a Nigerian accent. But there's no way you will know. And as you can see how generative AI is interactive in the way it talks, it would feel like it is you talking to a normal human being. And maybe when it sees that maybe your conversation is not going well, it would apologize and tell you, "Can I pass you on to my supervisor?" Then in that case, it's a human being that picks the call. But you won't really know all this thing behind the scene if it's well configured. So that's where AI is going to right now. Thanks.
Okay, the 11 apps, 11 labs that you mentioned, is
Yes.
it like normal 11? You spelled 11 or just 11 and labs?
It is 11 as words, then labs. I think it's
Okay, as well.
actually 11labs.io. That's the website.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you.
Please, I have a
Thank you.
question. I think I tried joining at the exact time, but my network was messy. Please, I want to know, was it recorded? Was this meeting recorded?
Yeah, we tried to do recording. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep it. But there's another device that I used to do a recording. It's still on. I hope the device is able to capture voice and audio. Let's see how it goes when the class is over. Okay.
Okay, so please, how do we
Awesome.
get the recording? Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question?
Good morning, sir.
Come on.
Please, you made mention of AI giving wrong information. We how do we navigate this wrong information being passed? Because I think
Honest,
I've encountered such situation before.
honestly, what I do or what I say is have multiple AI tools that you're using, and then with those different AI tools, try to when it gives you an information and you're sure that this information is exactly what you want, copy that information, paste it in a new chat with the AI, tell it that this information was provided to you, but you don't believe it's correct. That you should confirm if the information is correct. Sometimes it will tell you, "Oh, I see there's a mistake. I'm sorry. It's not correct." And sometimes it will tell you, "No, I'm 100% sure that this is correct." That's what I do. But I usually compare information across different AI tools. I don't like sit down and rely on just one source of info.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Any
Good
other
morning,
question?
Mr. Tayo.
Good
Yeah, good
morning.
morning, Mr.
Hello.
Tayo. Yeah,
Mm.
thank you. Thank you so much for the value, shared so far. Just a follow-up question to the previous question. Is there likely to be like a tool that you can use for fact check aside from just comparing, like you initially you suggested? Maybe like a tool for fact, checking the output that you get.
Like, sorry, can you come again with the question?
Oh, okay. So just a follow-up question. She asked if the how do we check sometimes the output that we get is actually wrong, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
So and
Hmm.
you spoke about comparing amongst tools. So I'm just thinking, is there a tool that we can use for like fact checking, maybe an AI tool for that? Maybe that's good with that, just to maybe save time or
So
something.
yes, so there are AI tools that would fact check, but it will cost you. And I know every time people ask a question about AI tools, I always say cost. Yes, the truth is, if you want quality response from AI tools, it will actually cost you. So if you want to bypass that cost that you're supposed to spend, the best way would be have different AI tools opened on your browser tab, like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini.
Okay.
Ask the same information, but use proper prompting strategy when you're asking those questions. If you don't ask the right questions when you're prompting, they will hallucinate when they are giving you information because they don't have enough context. They are using other people's data that they have gathered or learnt about to answer your
Yeah.
question. So you need to be very specific as much as possible. Then when you get the right response that you want from whichever one of them, take that response and go and ask the other guy and say, I got this response from a different AI tool and I think it is right compared to yours. Can you review? You can do the same question for all of them and all of them would then agree. I remember there's something I was working on and I asked three different AI tools, what's the best way to do this thing? And three of them gave me three different results. And then I
Oh,
copied all the results and put it in a text file. And I went to each AI tool and I uploaded a text and I said, this text file contains response from three different AI tools. Tell me which one is the best. And in that text file, I wrote response one, response two, response three. And all of them voted for one particular AI tool. And
oh,
I'm like, okay, now, so it means all of you agree that this particular AI tool's approach is the best. So I then used that approach to do what I want to do. So that's a way you can fact check it.
okay, okay, okay. Well,
Okay.
okay,
And then,
so
Good morning,
okay,
Mr.
yeah, go
Tayo.
ahead, miss, please. You were
Good morning, Mr.
about to say
Tayo.
something.
yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you so much for this wonderful and impressive presentation that you gave us. Please, can you drop the link again so that we can use it to access the video of this or the recording of this presentation?
Oh no, the link I dropped before was just a tool that you can use to generate image. It wasn't the presentation. We'll get back to
Okay.
you guys on the links
Please,
for
can you send it that link? Can you please resend it?
the one for the image.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just pasted it. I'll paste it again and I'll pin it in the chat. Just paste and then pin so that anyone can see it. And then additionally, someone was asking me about AI tools that can that can do voice. So I just want to show you the 11 lab that I was talking about earlier. This is the African tool here. You can see all the different languages that it can imitate. This is Hausa, this is Igbo. I know there's no Yoruba on it. Last time I checked, I know there's no Yoruba on it. So if I go to this Hausa accent, let me click it and then I can test it. Let's see if I can test it. I'm not sure if I can test it. I think they want me to pay. Yeah, I think they want me to pay. But it has authentic Hausa accent. Like it will sound exactly the way you want it to be. So, and you will not know that it's an AI that is talking. So these are some of those tools that exist in there. But they are all for development, and you need to sign in to use. Thank you. I just wanted to show you guys that page. Okay. Any question from anyone else?
Hello, good
Okay.
morning.
Good morning.
All right. So actually, I wanted to chip in on the issue of data hallucination and, of course, fact checking, which there are tools that you can verify. So whenever you use AI tools to generate information, ensure you specify, especially if you are in the educational sector, to give you references. So when it's turned out the references, you have to click the references to go and see if truly what the content generated is there. Because we had a case where one professor Porogi was saying that AI, some people did their paper and they cited a book or a study that he didn't do it. So automatically it was data hallucination there. But some of us are so reluctant sometimes. Wherever AI produce is what we use. We don't verify. So you have to fact check, you have to verify the information given by any AI tool that you are using to generate information. That will reduce to the minimum the issue of misrepresentation of facts. And of course, in a larger extent, talking about humanization of AI tools, not just generation, but going over it to ensure that the details is what it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for that. And it's interesting that something like that actually came up and you experienced it. I personally have had instances where an AI tool told me to do something in a different way or in a certain way, and I followed that same way without fact checking it. And at the end of the day, the output of what I did took me about 2 weeks to finish it.
Mm.
But if I had done my fact checking, I would have seen that there are other ways that were much better and faster. And the AI tool was telling me, I can guarantee you with 95% assurance that this is the best and correct way of doing it. So
Whoa.
it's is new, but at the same time, it does what we want. So does it work? Yes.
Interesting.
Does it not work? Yes. It all depends on the context and what you want to use it for. But it's always very important that when you're using AI tool, please try to proofread and review and confirm before you submit what you're sharing. And I've seen a lot of people that just go to ChatGPT, just copy everything with the icons and paste. You need to use tools that can help you rephrase. In fact, sometimes after it generates what it wants, I would then tell it, or I'll open up a new chat. And there's something else that I see people do when you're chatting with an AI tool for too long, they lose memory and they start to, like one of my friends calls it, they start to messian. So if you don't want your AI tool to start to messian, after you prompt it like maybe 4 or 6 times, or maybe maximum 8 times, end the chat, go and open a new chat and
Second.
start a new conversation. If you maintain that same trail, there's something within the AI that we call the chain of thoughts, and the chain of thought context grows larger. The larger it grows, the more difficult it is for the AI to put it together. Unlike the human brain that can remember lots of data, like trillions of data, the AI tool cannot really do that at an instance as powerful as they claim that it is. So you need to break down those conversations into bits so that it will properly process it. And that's how I use AI tool as of today. When I start chatting with it, when my chat gets too long, I just stop it there. I open up a new chat and I say, I initiate the conversation like it's a new one. Before I end the old chat, I can say, okay, I want to end this chat here. Give me a prompt that I will use to initiate a new chat with a new AI and reference all the things we have discussed here. And it gives me a summary. I copy everything with that summary. I go to the new chat, I paste it, and I have my conversation. And that way, the AI tool is able to correctly give me my information. So a lot of people do not know that. A lot of people still just maintain one chat and put all their information there. If you do that, it will hallucinate a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then when you're done,
Uh-huh.
also take that
Oh, yes.
information. When you're done, take that information and ask it to fine tune the information in such a way that it doesn't sound robotic, it sounds very human. In fact, sometimes I used to tell my AI to intentionally make mistake or put typos like a human being would do, and then the AI would then intentionally do that. That way, it will sound very human-like. But if you just take information from ChatGPT and paste it, it's robot to robot conversation. It will not go well, especially when scholars are reviewing that paper. They will always find something wrong in it. Thanks. Okay, so Madam Kemi, I would leave this to
Okay.
you uh, for final notes, ma.
I
Okay,
know this has been very impactful, and I would also be very glad if that works well as others have asked for. But once again, I just on behalf of the Tech Cafe and the Let's Tech, just want to say big thank you for your time, and we look forward to much more of this.
all right. Thank you very much. I know you said you're going to be in transit, so yes, it's going to be great. But thanks. It's been nice speaking to everybody here, and I look forward to sending the training materials to everyone for review. Thank you for your. Yes, please. Yeah, that would be perfect, please, so that they can also have means of getting this details. Okay, so and I also have an update. I don't know if you guys will take it like that. So the recording was done, but it looks like it didn't capture my voice, but it captured my screen that I was sharing. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but I will clean it up and I'll send it over to you guys. And if anybody's interested in watching the video without the audio, maybe that would help. But I'll share the slide, I'll share the spreadsheet, and I'll also share this video that I have here. Thank you.